Get more points. Come on. Come on, boys. That's it. Watch the fiver. Soften it up. Sports.
This is Sports Sunday.
Jokic has it. Clock ticks. Got to put one up. Jokic for the win. It's good. Jokic got it off in time.
With Rashad Taylor and Joe Fisher.
First and goal. Mahomes flings it. It's there. Hartman. Jackpot. Kansas City.
On the Odyssey app.
Hate me or love me. You watched. That's all you could do.
And 1080.
Who do you think you are?
The Fan.
Good morning. Welcome into Sports Sunday right here on 1080 The Fan, 99.5 HD2, YouTube and Twitch for the kids. I am Joe Fisher the third, and across the faux marble table is Rashad Taylor.
What up, though? Don't like that one. Got to try something else.
We're
Don't like that one.
workshopping some
immediately.
things.
So I'm going to try something new every morning until I find the one that sticks. That one wasn't it. I thought it would be good. It just didn't. I don't like it on the way up.
Across the glass, Jordan Schultz. See, he went with Schultz. He was able to workshop that real quick.
Well,
Figure it out.
Well, what's up, sports fans is mine, but it doesn't fit here. So,
Well, everybody here goes by their last name, too. Have we noticed that?
a fish,
Yeah.
Schulte.
I mean,
do
with the
a-
exception of Dusty
Sprague.
and, Sprague.
I do
you
a
know,
Joe
Dirk.
Fish.
Do you?
know,
Yeah.
You know.
Rop, Sook, Swag. Everybody here kind of goes by a last name. So
I did get
Schulte.
called Fish in like football and high school.
yeah,
like,
of course.
Fish, get over here.
It's better than fishy.
Fish, you blew coverage again.
Well, fishy, you blew coverage again. Imagine how emasculating
no.
that would have been.
Absolutely not. I'm not going fishy. Actually, I never liked to be called Joey growing up because I felt like it was very just like, oh, Joey.
Immature.
He's a
Yeah.
little 8-year-old
But,
Joey.
But now my son goes by
trying to-
Joey strictly. Like that is that's what he goes by. Which
I'm trying to think of some cool Joeys.
Fatone?
Joey Fatone is one.
yeah. Joey Gallo? Ha, kidding.
Joey Galloway?
Okay.
That's a good one. Joey Gallo, I love it.
Joey Galloway?
Okay, it's two. Joey Lawrence.
I
He's
mean,
a cool one. He was on Blossom, I
yeah,
guess.
who are some of the
Joey Lawrence?
coolest
Whoa,
Joeys?
Didn't he
Yeah.
just got divorced like a year ago?
Did he?
Cheated on
The
his
fact
wife?
that you even know what's going on with Joey Lawrence, I mean,
Well, you know me. I keep up with anything Lawrence
How about
brothers.
this? Well, how about this as far as Lawrence related? So Matthew is
Whoa.
is
Whoa.
His
the middle
dad?
one? No,
Oh.
is married to Chili from TLC.
Oh, yeah.
Flex.
that is a very late 90s, early 2000s-esque relationship right there.
Yeah.
Dated
that's it.
Topanga.
Yeah.
Everybody wanted to date Topanga back in the day. Good for
Topanga's a
Matthew
one
Lawrence.
seed, man.
What about just simply Joey from Friends?
Joey from Friend might be the most famous Joey.
And that's
Probably
not
the
even
most
his-
famous Joey.
That's not even his real name.
No, it's not.
No.
I'm sure
His
people just see him on the street
his
and just
name's
call him
Matt
Joey. Which, how
LeBlanc.
irritating would that be? Just think about it. If you're a famous TV star, and that's really kind of some of the only thing that you've done, throughout your career, there are a lot of people that probably don't know your real name.
I don't know if I got paid
Recognize you from the show. Hey, yeah, you.
$100+
Chandler.
million bucks a year would make that feel a hell of a lot better because
Well-
they get a lot of royalties still pouring in.
Well,
from
would
that
you
show.
rather be known as the what's the word titular actor, like the name of the person you played, or hey, you're that one guy? Because there's always there's many actors and actresses out there where you don't know their actual name and you see them play different
A
roles in
million
different
things.
movies.
Yeah, character actors.
Yeah, but again, you don't know who their name is.
What's my man from
Who's that
from
guy?
Breaking already from I want to say it's on Breaking Bad, and he's the black like Juan Carlo.
Oh, you're close. Hey, you're that one guy.
Listen,
I'm trying to
can't-
remember. Is it some Esposito?
Yeah,
or?
something. Listen, I've seen him in things since I was a young kid. I watched him in School Days that came out in like 1988 or
He's in-
89
He's in
or something like that.
Giancarlo Esposito.
He was just in Captain America, and I've been watching this man
He's also in
for almost
the
40
Boys.
years. Yeah, in The Boys. I've been watching this man for almost 40 years, and
40 years.
Almost. Seriously, like he's been in stuff dating back. He's in. How about this? He's in Trading Places. When Eddie Murphy is in
My
jail
God.
at the towards the beginning of Trading Places, he's
Oh, man,
one of
he's
the
in-
people in the cell.
He's in Do the Right Thing. Also,
He's in Do the Right Thing.
First time I ever seen this guy in my life was Breaking Bad.
Man, he's been around forever, and I still have never known that gentleman's name.
I knew his last name, so I'll take that as
Hey, that's a
I'll-
win.
if I saw him on the street, I would probably been like, "Hey, Mr. Esposito," because I did not know his name was Giancarlo.
That's a win. Like I said,
See-
you can look at his IMDb and like, man, this dude has been in everything, and I can never remember his name.
When I think of character actors,
Last holiday.
I think of wow, that's a
It's a good
throwback.
It was a solid movie.
What, Queen Latifah?
Yeah, solid movie.
Skiing? Yeah,
Yeah.
sure. When I think of like character actors, I think of people that are maybe lesser known, but like you will recognize them. And I feel like Esposito, he's been that prominent character in Breaking Bad. He's been in video games
He's been in
too.
everything.
He was in like Far Cry 5 or
Yeah.
6 as like a character. So I think of, you guys remember in Meet the Parents, it was the parent of like one of the brothers or sisters, like it was their spouse.
Yeah.
Like that they were like a doctor or something.
Yeah,
That's-
Dr. Bob.
Thank you, Dr. Bob. That's the kind of guy that I think of as the character actor. His name is James Rebhorn, or James Rebhorn, I think is how you say his name. And he was in everything from, Basic Instinct to like all the way up to Meet the Parents. Like that's the kind of guy I think of as a character actor.
Yeah.
So Dr. Bob.
Yeah, James Rebhorner. That's Dr. Larry. That's Dr. Bob's dad.
Dr. O'Leary, excuse me.
Yeah.
Thank you. That's my bad. Dr.
Yeah,
Bob. MD.
So again, would you rather be known? I think I would go with I'd rather be like, hey, it's blah blah blah, like referred to as
Yeah.
the show character. Than
Yeah, at
someone
least
just
they
being
knows you watch the show,
Yeah.
but you don't watch enough to read the credits.
Hey,
so,
you're what's your name?
you're snap finger famous. You're the guy.
Snap
What's his
finger
name?
famous. That's the perfect level of anonymity, right? You can still walk into a coffee shop, but then there are some days where somebody that's a fan of the show or movie will recognize you, but not all the time.
Yeah.
Pretty
Well,
good life.
I don't know. I guess I'd want to be that guy, but I don't know. I guess just
which
being,
pays more? I'm just kidding.
Yeah, that's pretty much end of the day. Like, what prominent show am I on?
Yeah, I want those royalty checks.
Yeah, for real.
Rather than, and this is where it makes me wonder, like, some of those actors, as you mentioned, like a James Rebhorn, like I can't imagine he's getting big paychecks.
Well, he's
for
dead.
his. Oh well.
Oh well.
Was getting big paychecks for his roles. I mean,
Yeah, that's the kind of, gosh, what's like the day rate for SAG? It's like $2,000, maybe $3,000. So like if you're shooting for a week on a movie,
he was in Blank Check. I think he was his dad.
he was the dad in Blank Check.
Yeah.
He was Preston's dad.
I
That
believe
little
so.
pervert
Mhm.
got
Yeah.
to kiss a grown woman in that movie.
That movie is all the way wrong.
It's,
I watched it
there's
again.
So many things
I watched
wrong
it again
with
like maybe a month and a half ago. Disney Plus. Shout out to Disney Plus for having all the old school jams
What's
on there.
Preston Waters up to nowadays?
Oh, I thought he was.
Oh, a lot of neck tattoos, that's for sure.
I don't know what happens to young kids when they get a lot of money early. A lot of neck tattoos, like you said.
Well, I wouldn't consider that a lot of money, but it was definitely some money.
Got $1 million in a blank check, man.
Do you think someone recognizes him at his age now? Like,
No,
dude,
You know how-
who you look? You look like an older version of that kid in
that
Blank
kid
Check.
Have you ever
Preston?
seen? Yeah. No, I don't know. What's that kid look like now?
That movie, man.
Oh yeah, that's one of those movies that you remember from your childhood and then you watch 20, 25 years later and I'm
Hey,
like,
this is not cool.
this is
That
this
older
aged
woman was coming on to
poorly.
him. Like, I don't care what anybody says. Watch again. She was giving him signs that she was with it.
Karen Duffy.
Oh, well, she was a hottie, still is actually. And the banker in that movie's an idiot for handing any amount of money to a kid that comes in with a check, especially one
Yeah.
for $1 million.
Tone Loc in that movie.
What?
Tone Loc in that
Tone
voice.
Loc.
Yeah, he was. He was
Tone
one
Loc,
of the
yeah.
gangsters.
Yeah,
Oh,
the
wow,
movie.
I forgot that.
Juice was his name.
Yes, he
Yeah,
was the guy
he
that was
was Juice. He was
supposed to
supposed
pick
to
up
get
the
the
money,
money, yeah.
and then he said, "No thanks, I'm not thirsty." Preston did in response, and he's like, "Oh, this kid's just playing it cool, huh? Okay, I'm giving him $1 million."
What a great movie. But
I
again,
still,
watching it
uh,
again, it's like,
I still quote that movie quite often. There's one particular line from that movie. It's when the incident happens where Preston gets hit by the car and his bike run over and the guy's writing his check, and then there's that one other kid in the parking lot just heckling and just won't shut the hell up. And he goes, "I think this guy's been drinking vodka," to the dude who hits Preston. And I reference that all the time when someone doesn't know what the hell they're talking about and just possibly sounds drunk. I just hit him with that line.
I don't know if I remember any lines from that movie.
That's the only one I remember.
Yeah.
Because we would say it all the time in my family growing up. Like if my dad was doing something stupid or my sister or me, possibly. So I think this guy's been drinking vodka. Yeah. Blank check.
Yeah,
God,
gotta.
there's like 4 character actors in this movie too.
Yeah, Michael Lerner.
Yes,
Once
Michael.
you see the picture of that guy, you're
It's
like,
Michael
oh yeah,
Lerner.
it's that guy.
Yeah, he was the guy. No, he was like this and that. No, Michael Lerner, the best known character of him, probably the overbearing boss in Elf.
I was gonna say the douchey boss in Elf.
Yeah, exactly. And then another
yeah.
one, Rick Ducommun, if I'm saying that correctly. He was in Groundhog Day. He was in Die Hard, like the guy that was popping up out of the pothole, being like, "Hey, we got a problem down at Nakatomi Plaza." Like that. This guy's in Blank Check. I mean, it's full of character.
He was also an MVP, Most Valuable Primate.
Oh my God, that's
God,
a throwback.
Forgot to see that one.
How about that? Yeah, that was they were trying to clearly ride the coattails of Air Bud there. You know, came out in the year 2000.
Air Bud was a monster, but Bingo had to walk for Air Bud to fly. You know,
was Bingo the monkey's name? Or?
no, Bingo was the first dog.
Was his name-o?
Yeah, he was the first dog that was amazing. You know, well, sans Lassie, but he was the first awesome dog that could do everything and could skateboard and could
Bingo?
save the day.
Who the hell are you talking about?
Yeah, see, exactly. You don't know about Bingo, and then Air Bud came out because we saw, people really like dogs. don't
Because he
they?
could get buckets. I mean,
He could get buckets, but I mean, so could Bingo.
The one line I remember from Air Bud is, "There's nothing in the rule book that says a dog can't play basketball." That fat ref. It's like, no, we're not going to allow this.
Air Bud
but
was out there killing.
They decided to. Well, because nobody was able to guard him. Nobody actually went up to think, "Oh, hey, I'm going to block this shot while it's being set up for the 2.5, 3
Listen,
seconds."
if we're at the park and Air Bud is there, and I could pick between him or Sidney Dean or Billy Holt from White Man Can't Jump, let's go, Air Bud.
there's a great TikTok
You're on my team.
of a guy sitting in his car and he's acting like the dad of a kid who just lost to Air Bud. And he's just sitting in the car and he's just like, "You gave up 28 points to a golden retriever. He was really good. He was a dog."
Yeah, out there killing. I mean, layups, fillet. Like he was out there. Air Bud was really giving them business. He was really doing that out there.
I got to go find that.
Seriously,
It's so great.
When we talk about all time, just based on stats, when you talk about all time great fictional characters, Air Bud's got to be right up there, man. He was really getting buckets on fools.
Yeah, and then they did the football movie after that.
They did a bunch.
I think I recall.
And then he made All State there.
Yeah, football was stupid. That movie was dumb.
Wow, they did. Yeah, they did a soccer
I
one.
think they did solid.
They
I think they did a soccer
They
one.
did a baseball
Might
one.
have been wrestling in there.
So how does he hold a bat? Does he just always bunt, or is he a pinch runner?
That's with his tail.
How does that work?
It's with his
That's with
tail.
his tail.
He hits with his. Thank you, Rashad. You know what?
Home
I
runs.
didn't even think of that.
Air Bud golden receiver, golden receiver. Air Bud World Pup.
No.
Get it?
Yeah, World
Yeah.
Cup.
Air Bud 7th inning fetch.
Yep, that's
Those
about always
cheeky
good for him.
bastards in the creative
It's
writing
not
room.
fair. He's got 4 legs, man.
Air Bud Spikes Back. That was a volleyball
Volleyball?
one.
Everybody's
know
playing
what?
volleyball now.
This is a great opportunity to say the
It's like Ernest.
direct to TV movie sequel market hopefully is dead, but should have died
never
and
die.
never should
Will-
have been
Listen,
a thing in the
we'll
first
never
place.
ever die.
My God.
Will never ever die, especially with things like Tubi now and other places you can really put stuff. The straight to TV movie will always be a thing, and that's good because people are still getting paid a lot of money from straight to TV movies.
I mean, one of the more heartbreaking moments, though, when and I don't know this by off the top of my name, but I have the list right here. Josh, the main character in Air Bud,
Yeah.
when he's telling Buddy to leave, just go. He's crying, telling him to leave. God, that's one of those childhood moments that sticks with you, heart wrenching. And then he does go, but then he comes back and they win the big game. And then he chooses Josh over the creepy ass clown.
Shocking. Yeah, who'd want to go home with the creepy ass
What a
clown?
twist that would have been.
Got to be honest, haven't seen a lot of Air Bud movies, so wouldn't really know. I saw the first basketball one. Was like, I think I'm.
You don't
have to
remember
watch
the
it.
creepy
That's
clown
what
that tries to steal him?
I've
main
seen Air Bud
antagonist was.
one time.
One
I've seen
time.
Air Bud one time.
One time.
He was getting busy though.
That's probably all you need.
Yeah, that was it.
No. That's
And that came. Airbud had to come out in like what 94, 95, something like that.
97.
97.
Wow.
Okay, so
Coming
definitely.
up on 30 years. Of
I was trying to
Air
talk
Bud.
to girls at that point, so I wasn't really watching a lot of
whatever,
Airbud.
Rashad.
Oh, you would have gotten more girls if you would have brought up Airbud to them.
I
Hey,
know,
you want
right?
to come over and watch Airbud on VHS?
It's about a golden retriever. I'm
Who
sold.
plays basketball?
I'm sold. Golden retrievers.
You know, it really used to get the
I
ladies, man.
love golden retrievers.
Have them come over like out so people can come over. We couldn't go any further than the front room though, which was a rule by the parents, which I
Oh,
respected.
God.
Whatever, but you know, have on Milo and Otis,
Oh,
man, tugging at our heartstrings.
Homeward
Milo-
Bound, baby.
every single time.
Milo Notice, man. That was. You want to talk about a movie watched 100
I
times.
will
in my
watch that
household.
today if it comes.
Oh,
on.
me too.
If
Hilarious.
it comes on, if I catch Milo and Otis, I'll
Now,
watch that today.
Questionable animal practices in that movie because
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure it was made in Japan, and there has been stories that came out like, and even when you watch it, like
That snow scene when they was walking through like a blizzard and stuff, I was like,
they
yeah,
have
that
a
can't be.
pug like battling, like basically going up against a bear at one point, and it's supposed to be kind of played off as this playful thing. It's like that bear could shred that pug anytime it wants.
And they use 3 pugs. No, I'm just kidding. But they,
I'm pretty
it-
sure
like,
there was something
uh-oh.
about that with the cats, about Milo.
That's
And there's one
not good.
scene where Milo's getting like attacked by seagulls on like a sea cliff edge, and he's trying to get away. And then, sure enough, it just cuts to a cat leaping off of a cliff's edge into the ocean water below. Big ass jump. We're talking about like 80 feet up in there, 90 feet. And again, going back and watching that, you're like, that's pretty high up there into the ocean waters. I think that's where they lost one of the cats.
That's why they start putting those kind of disclaimers that no animals were harmed in the making of this film. You know, after that probably. So, yeah, but I don't.
But
Milo and
absolute
Otis,
classic movie.
not going to be ruined for me. I'm
Oh
still
my
going to
God.
watch it. It's a great movie.
Just love it. The voiceover actor doing all the voices for all of the animals, just hilarious. But yeah, as an adult, when you revisit that movie, not nearly as cute and adorable as. Oh, and then
I don't know. Got to see it. It's been a while.
And then what is it? Otis, the pug, he gets like his tail pinched by a crab at one point, and they like
Jeez.
actually have the dog get pinched by a crab, and they're like, "Oh, this is hilarious. This scene's great."
Came out as a great movie though.
Good
was.
standards back then.
Hey, 80% on Rotten Tomatoes. Okay.
Hey, you gotta.
There we go.
I mean,
gotta
the
do anything
audience,
That's a
that
solid
80.
movie.
the Google audience reviews. There's more 1-star reviews than
sure.
5-star reviews.
But it's probably PETA.
They probably flooded those reviews.
Probably right.
Great movie though.
PETA's not going to let things slide when it comes to animals in their movies.
This movie that came out in 1964 is an abomination.
I'm
Seriously.
curious if there's anybody out there listening. Text into the Vancouver Ford text line 503-864-6326. Have you seen Milo and Otis? Because I feel like that's one of those movies that
You've either seen it or he's like, what is
I,
Milo and
I,
Otis?
I've never heard of that in my
Yeah.
life. Absolute classic, staple in the Fisher household growing up. That
Yeah.
and Wayne's World.
See, I mean, I think Milo and Otis is one of the movies that transcends, race and stuff like that. Because for way over in North
Well,
Portland,
it brought a
Way-
cat and dog
I mean-
together.
I mean,
you
way
go.
over in North Portland, we enjoyed the same movie, and so it was a pretty awesome movie. I got to check it out again though.
All right, let's get sports and shall we? Dude, just an insane sports week.
Well,
I mean
ish.
yeah. I mean, when hockey is the leading, and rightfully so, it was the leading story this week. But you know that we're in that post Super Bowl hangover when we do that hockey.
It is, but hockey also took some shots at the NBA, which is awesome.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
PK
so-
PK Subban.
Hey.
He
Good
man.
Lord.
I don't know if we got the audio for that. But I
We
heard-
do. I pulled it for Sprague earlier this week. So
I
we
mean,
can
yeah,
throw
if you
that in
haven't
there.
heard that, maybe we can play that in the second hour at some point because there are a couple things wanted to get to in the first hour, including a historic night at the Moda Center.
Ooh,
Oh, my
historic. I was
God.
there actually.
How about that?
Yeah, I was
Celebrating
there
your
for this
birthday?
historic night. Yes, sir.
Courtside seats?
No, although there
Sweet.
I was up in the club, but
Oh no.
He got minutes, actually.
Jordan
Jordan got some minutes last
on the
night.
box,
Me in.
on the box score.
Who
yeah.
didn't play last
I
night?
did miss out on. There was a pair of courtside seats available for $175 each, which is in courtside terms cheaper than cheap.
I was
cheap,
going to say,
cheap.
that's really good.
Yeah, so I'm sad that I missed out on those, but another game. But there are courtside tickets for cheap. They are there.
Well, let's get to the historic night at the Mona Center last night. Who would have seen it coming? We get to that next. Sports Sunday, 10 in the Fin.
Bruh, you down. You need an Onolo mix.
Sports Sunday with Rashad and Joe on Portland's Sports Leader, 1080 The Fan.
Sports Sunday, 1080 The Fan.
Free golf lessons, 1080 the fan.
Yeah, getting it from the wrong guy. I think I don't know, maybe it was you. I told you last week. My golf game's been a mess, and I have been very determined to just get back to the grindstone. I think Instagram was listening to me because it seemed like 90%.
Instagram is the feds.
I think 90% of my feed this week was just golf instructional videos. Like the silly cat videos, the cooking videos.
You typed in YouTube one time, like, oh man, what am I correct my swing, and then all of a sudden,
I think it picked up that because the guy I went for my golf lessons 2 years ago over at X Golf in Tualatin, Andy Morris, go see him, he's great. I messaged him on Sunday. I'm like, bro, what time do you got? Send me a calendar. When are you available? I'm done trying to figure this out myself. I can't do it. Like, you know. And so I think Instagram picked up on that message that I sent him.
That's creepy.
And was like, dude struggling with golf. Here's some
stupid
golf
AI stuff.
Here's some golf instructional videos. And boy, I'll tell you what, I am not the athlete that I used to be. That's for sure. It's been a lot of arms swinging lately, and I need to get more of that body, that turn, that torque in my hips. Yeah, exactly. It's been a very humbling week. Was it Thursday? We had the final basketball practice, and it was parents versus kids in the final basketball practice.
Did the kids give it to y'all?
Oh, no. I mean, I'd say humbling, like as if we lost. Absolutely not. That did not happen at all. I think one of the kids even got like pissed. He's like, they're actually trying. What the heck?
What
I was
do you-
like, well,
do you
yeah,
expect
dude.
us to let you win?
I haven't been able to sleep all week waiting for this day.
For real. Think
you
about what I'm
kidding
gonna
me?
do to these
Wait
six
till
US
you're a
sixth graders.
dad.
Yeah. So we did that, and then yesterday, Friday, Joey, my boy, wanted to go to the rec center with his friend and get some shots up and play some basketball. And there were some 8th graders that were running 5-on-5, and then a few of them left, and so they asked me and Joey and his friend to play. And so I got to feel like the big man on the court.
Mm-hmm.
You know, just
Down low.
Oh yeah,
Throw it.
man.
Mouse in the house.
It's a feeling I'm not used to.
Joe's out there setting hard screens.
Kareem Abdul-Jabbar.
Well, there was one play like accident. I didn't even do it on purpose, but I went down low to like get a rebound, and me and one kid like collided, and I could hear him. He was like, "Oh,"
And you're Carmelo Anthony. F out of here.
and then the play ended. He's like, "Oh,"
Give me the effing ball.
he's like, "Oh my god!" I'm like, "All right, I'm not that big for God's
Yeah.
sakes."
Good
Like,
Lord, kid.
yeah. But man, those kids. There was one kid on the 8th grader where just a shifty, speedy little effer. Like, just he had moves and could do everything. And I think after the first couple possessions of him trying to do that to me, I'm like, I'm not playing this game with you, kid.
No,
like,
you're
if
not gonna
you-
cross
like-
me over.
Yeah, exactly.
Not
I was
today.
like, just, do what you want to do. And if you want to drive and get a layup, good for you, But it definitely made me realize I'm like, yeah, no, I'm not keeping pace with this kid at
Joe's-
all.
Joe's boxing out hard and everything. I can see it.
Oh, man. I was getting animated. I'm telling
Slapping
you.
the backboard.
Oh, I'm not.
Tighten up, fellas.
Oh, dude. I, at one point, said to Joey, I'm like, cut! Cut! And his look on his face was like, oh, my God.
What are you doing?
Like, I'm still coaching you, kid.
I'm like, let's go. His buddy
Move.
Declan is just jacking up threes, and I'm just like, guys,
Drive to the hoop.
we're passing it once and then throwing up a shot. Let's go.
Set a screen.
Someone D him up.
Pick and roll.
Yeah.
And other people are looking like, look at this old dude out here.
Yeah.
Look at this old dude out here.
The favorite of mine was my dad's. Put your hands up on defense,
Oh, yeah.
and there'd be 5 kids running with their hands just straight.
One of the kids said I looked like Baker Mayfield, though. I've never got that before. That's definitely the beard, though.
See it a little bit.
Kids are weird. Not that you
Definitely-
don't.
Definitely the beard.
That's just random.
So those two, and then as I was telling Rashad in the break, like, man, really, really working on that golf swing, and again, not torquing those hips. Maybe I'm twerking. I don't know.
Maybe you should.
Yeah, maybe it would help that flexibility.
It would never help.
But yeah, it's just
Definitely
been
won't help.
last 3 days. My dogs have been barking, as they say, howling, I should say. It's like a pack of wolves down there.
Oh, what a hard time for privileged Joe over there. Taking golf lessons, his feet are hurting.
Ouch.
His hips are hurting from that torque into the golf swing.
To be fair, the golf lesson hasn't happened yet. I'm going in on Friday. We're gonna work on some things.
Good Lord. So why are you hurting? Because of the
Because
basketball?
I'm an old rickety man now.
Stop
Playing
it.
8th graders? Too much for you?
Yeah, playing 8th graders and 6th graders,
33,
and
Joe,
yeah,
stop it.
might as well be 53.
Stop it.
I was going to ask y'all if you wanted to do the 3-on-3 tournament the Blazers usually do in the summer, but never mind.
Absolutely not.
It doesn't
No.
sound like you're up for it.
There's guys that are way
those
better
teams
than
are
me.
super competitive.
I was
too.
gonna say
like,
that is not happening.
In the
there's
media bracket? No.
oh, there's a media bracket.
Yes.
Sign us up.
Oh,
Yes,
yeah,
that
I was
if
gonna
it,
say.
no, they don't put us in the elite. They put us in there. It's like this media bracket. We're playing people from K2 and KGW.
Oh, sign us
all right.
up.
Like,
Now Marcus Greaves moved to Atlanta. Like, I
hey,
think we're good.
All right. Well, I'm the chubby guy off the bench. That's all I want to be. All right.
Yeah.
Just stand in the corner and hit threes. That's the role.
How
of
many
the
on the
chubby
team? So
white
what's
guy.
a
And I'll be Chuck. I'll put my butt into somebody and get a
so
rebound.
what's the team? So wait, how many people on the team?
4, 3 on the court, and then one bench guy.
Easy.
So I'm in. You guys are in. We need one more.
Will
Yeah, exactly. Will Ertner, the tallest guy here.
Big,
play the post. Will
Yep.
just do your thing. We ain't gonna make you do much if you don't want to.
I know he's got those lineman knees.
That's why we're not gonna make him do much.
Yeah.
Stand right here,
Oh,
bro.
he has to. Yeah, he's probably just
true.
gonna body everybody around. You imagine him like up on anybody else in the media? He'll body the hell out of him.
All right. Well, there goes the segment. Let's take a break. And
We'll be here for 2 hours. We're good.
We
and
just
this time, we will talk about the historic night at the Moda Center. I swear. But first, Jordan Schultz with a Sports Center update.
Now, from the Fan Sports Desk, a Sports Center update on 1080 The Fan.
First on the Fan, the Portland Trailblazers getting a 53-point win over the Charlotte Hornets last night at Moda, 141-88 the final. Lots of people scoring 20 points for Portland. Anthony Simons leading the way with 25. Tamani Kamara, Jabari Walker, and Shaden Sharp all contributing 20. Denny Avdia had 15. Other notable scores, Scoot Henderson with 7, 3 of 5 from three-point land for Scoot. Other news in the NBA dropping late last night. San Antonio Spurs Hall of Fame head coach Greg Popovich is not expected to return this season, and his NBA future is uncertain. He's still recovering from a mild stroke that he suffered back in November. The team at that point moved Mitch Johnson into the head coaching role on an interim basis. He's been 21 and 27 since. On the college hardwood, the Oregon Ducks slipping by Wisconsin, getting the huge upset win over the Badgers, 77-73 the final, and that was a roadie over number 11 Wisconsin, by the way. Nate Biddle leading all scorers with 23 points. The Beavers getting a road win as well, 83-73 over San Diego, and the Portland Pilots making it almost a perfect day for Oregon teams. They beat the Pacific Tigers on the road as well, 81-73. More sports scores and stories in 30 minutes. I'm Schulte at the 1080 The Fan Sports Desk. Listen live or on demand on the Odyssey app, the Fan's desktop player, or tell your smart speaker to play 1080 The Fan.
Your favorite fan shows are on YouTube. Mash the subscribe button and like us for live streaming video and 1080 The Fan on demand.
Hey, it's Dusty. Victor Rico's just dropped new menu items. Restaurant quality, made fresh, and served fast. Plus, they're open late. So whenever hunger hits,
You're listening to Sports Sunday with Rashad Taylor and Joe Fisher on the Odyssey app and 1080 The Fan.
A historic night at the Moda Center last night. Who would have thunk it that this season the Blazers were going to set a single game record for the biggest victory in franchise history?
Can you feel it? Can you feel it? I see you feel it in there, Jordan. Don't act like that.
53-point victory. Now, when I say against two, it makes a lot of sense because they're absolute dog water, as the kids say, against the Charlotte Hornets.
No, this
against Yusuf Nurkic.
This isn't this step up to greatness that fans are hoping for. No.
Also, boy, you can tell the Hornets just got a big win against the Lakers here recently because they go and do that the very next game.
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, I didn't know if they played on Thursday or Friday. So, they did play on Thursday against the Nuggets. Sorry, I am not up to date on my my Nuggets schedule and what they've been doing lately, or excuse me, my Hornets schedule. But yeah, they come into the Moda Center last night, 141-88 victory for the Portland Trailblazers. My God, who saw this coming? Didn't they have one of their biggest losses in franchise history earlier this season? I'm pretty sure they did. They lost
like
48
something to. I can't remember who that game was to.
I don't know, but it definitely happened
They
this
got
year.
scraped, yeah.
So in this single season, you have had one of the worst losses in franchise history and one of the best wins in franchise history. If that's not a Blazer season for you, I don't know what is.
That's, I'm not shocked.
Too good to be bad and too bad to be good.
I'm not shocked. The truth is, the Blazers are a much better team than Charlotte is.
Well, they're good enough where they're above the dog water tier of the NBA and not good enough to really compete for a playoff spot or championship. And maybe you get a 10 seed in the play-on spot. Cool, but
I'll say this, man. This team they were supposed to win 23 games all year. That was their threshold. That was the prediction for most of the experts. The Blazers are going to win 23 games for the year. They did that before the All-Star break. I think there's something to be said for that. This team is trying to do stuff. I understand how disappointed everybody is that you're not going to get Cooper Flag. Like I'm, as the guy that wants.
I'm still holding out for our 4.5% chance.
There's still hope, right? You know what I'm saying? Because again, when the Blazers got Greg Oden, they were like not even in the top
like
5.
Fifth. I think it was like 5th best odds.
Yeah, well, even still, like not the best odds, but not something that you'd be super excited about. It's all about how the ball bounces, right? How does those lottery balls end up bouncing? And if it bounces the Blazers' way, great. But for now, I think they should keep trying to play strong. They've got great players. They've got really good players. They got 4 dudes that can get you 20 every night. Every night. If one guy's down, another guy, one of those other 3 guys will step up. And so last night you saw Kamara is not one of those guys I'm talking about, but he can give you 20 if need be.
You got to it, and I was going to mention it later in the segment, but in a time in the NBA where we complain about dudes not caring, not trying, it's a bad product, et cetera, et cetera. If there is one player on this Blazers team
1000% agree
that makes you motivated, makes you happy to watch the team, shows you that there is someone that does care, it's Toumani Camara.
100%.
That dude, if he doesn't get first or second team all defensive MVP, I mean, that is just a downright abomination.
And the only reason they wouldn't give it to him is because he plays for
Portland and
the Blazers
nobody
right
watches up here.
But the things he's doing defensively, leading the league in charges taken, and having won every single game. Every game that he's played, at least, especially during the streak and up until now, he's drawn a charge. Like, that's impressive. That's great defense. That's patience. Like, those are things that you can't teach, unfortunately. And I think that's the type of guy that Chauncey Billups really needs to kind of anchor this defense that he keeps preaching about wanting to kind of instill for the Blazers.
Well, it's funny that he said it's, something you can't teach, because this is something that, like with my son, I've said it with basketball. I remember a game earlier this year. I don't know who they were playing. I think it was Oklahoma City. And I was like, Toumani Camara, I was like, watch him this entire game. I was like, don't watch anybody else but him. And he was just giving Shai Gilgeous-Alexander the business and just making it uncomfortable and making him. I mean, I'd have to go looking back at the box score, but it wasn't one of his best nights.
I mean, I think he still had a solid game, but at the same time, it wasn't him going off for 30-something and grabbing, 9 assists throughout the night. Like, it's, again, you said the main thing, making him uncomfortable. Like, there is one thing, every player in the NBA can get buckets. And leaving them unguarded, they're going to go to work.
Lamar Hurd had a great line on Toumani Camara last night where he's like, this is a guy that was kind of, left in the shadows of the Phoenix Suns and in the trade package for Dame. Toumani Camara is the shadow. Wherever you go, he goes. And I was like, ooh, that's a good nickname now, the shadow.
Yeah.
For Toumani Camara.
I like it. Make it a thing.
But again, like he's one of those guys like where you see a team like this with the Blazers as they move forward, who is a part of the future, the moving, like who you want to see as an integral part of this team. He is on that list. Again, to me, it comes down to 5 players that I want to see just moving forward, be a part of this team for the next 3, 4, 5 seasons. It's him, Scoot, Shaedon, Denny Avdija. Wow, words. Avdija. Thank you.
It's okay.
Sometimes you switch the J with the D or
Have
the
you
V
heard some of my
J
updates? It happens.
And Donovan Clingan. Like, those 5 right there, to me, are like, I want
That's
those
what you build around.
That's your 5. That is, and you add pieces, draft, not free agency, trade. That's what you build this core on. And Toumani Camara is, I mean, when has the Blazers had a player like this?
Batum, I think with the last time, like Batum was probably the
I would say Kamara's offense, though.
It's better than because Batum could get buckets. He was just inconsistent.
I would say that as far as being able to run an offense, dish it out, have the ball in his hands, playmaking
he was really our point forward at that point.
You give it to Batum a little bit more, but I mean, to me, Kamara can go and get a bucket. He can drop. I mean, he had a dunk last night where it
He's
looked
had a
like
few of those.
it looked like
throughout the season.
Shaden going
Yeah.
up.
He's had a few of those in the season. I know the last game was a loss, but he caught a lob. I was like, ooh, that's a great catch.
I believe the term that was coined by the late Brian Wheeler, not just boom shakalaka, he turned it into Batum shakalaka on a couple of different occasions. I remember a couple of good dunks by Batum,
Yeah.
and I don't think he could go off on like points wise like Tamani has on any particular night, but he filled up the stat sheet and he did all the things that you needed to do to help the team in ways that you don't really see in the box score.
Yeah.
He was a really good defender. You go watch Nick Batum in his early days, he was giving the guys the business on defense, and he was the one that basically always, if you remember, Batum, he's guarding the best offensive player on the opposite team, regardless. It was always his assignment, and he handled it perfectly back in the day. Tamani, maybe even a step above that. And what was he, like an early second-round pick?
Yeah.
Well,
And traded in that thing with the Lillard deal?
And what the thing with Kamara though is that like maybe Batum's defense was great, but Kamara just is he's the Energizer Bunny, man.
Yeah.
He just keeps going and going and going. And again, this is something I was referencing when like talking to my son is that when my son plays basketball, is that he's very methodical and he thinks a lot. And which is in basketball, like you can't really do that. Like you got to just go, and then it's on to the next thing, and you can't really have a second to be like, okay, I just did this, now I need to do this. Like there are some kids, and really, it's one of those that you can't teach. It's some of them are just wired that way, and players. And Tamani Kamara is where it's just like, I'm going to hound you and hound you and hound you, and I'm going to be in your kitchen and in your back pocket the entire time. You are not going to go anywhere without me being right up on you. I don't care what you're doing, what the case of the game is. If we're down 20-30, if we're up 20-30, you are going to be in fits all night.
And those are the type of guys that can anchor championship contenders. When you have a guy like that can
in 3 to 4 years.
Well, I'm not obviously not today, but as you talk about those, those 5 players and everything, if the Blazers are able to build around this young talent that it does have, and let's be real, the Blazers do have a lot of young talent. And if they're able to keep these guys together for a little bit. Now, I don't know what's going to happen with Simons and everything like that. He's been here for a long time, but Simons is one of them dudes, like, he's a guaranteed bucket. Like, it's when it leaves his fingers, like, there's not a time where I don't believe that it's going in. Even if he misses, I'm okay with them shooting that three-pointer. Reminds me a lot of Dame, that side step that he has. Like, they practice that a lot.
Well, that's something he's added in, and that's, I forget what the coaches that Dame had, his shooting coach, and oh my God, Phil Beckner, I believe.
Sure.
He's a coach in the NBA that specifically works with guys on shooting, and he's Dame's shooting coach, one of his trainers, and like Simons, when he throws up that shot, it's like, you must be hanging out with this dude and must be coaching him, because that is almost dead similar to that Dame, like you said, sidestep shot and throw up a three.
It's confident. And so we're not sure what's going to happen with Simons, but even if you took Simons out of that, and I'm knocking on wood here because I don't want to see that happen, but even if you took him out of the equation, like, you still have a Scoot Henderson, you still have Tamani Kamara, you still have Shaden Sharp. Like, and Shaden, there's some Kobe in him. Like, when I'm looking at him, I see young Kobe, like number 8 with the fro. Like,
that's when the Blazers have the ball.
No, when
unfortunately, when
they
are on defense, he looks a little bit more like Luka.
And I think honestly, I think that's something you can. Defense is nothing but
it's effort.
It's energy and effort. That's really all
effort
it is.
And give an F.
Yeah, it's real. That's all you have to do. It's energy and effort.
Anthony doesn't give an F, so at least on the defensive side.
There's a lot of dudes in the NBA that don't get. Again, this is why I like watching Tamani Kamara as a basketball fan, as someone who wants to see the NBA succeed and get back to the perception of guys, quote unquote, giving an F. Like, is that dude clearly cares, and that guy, like, when you see someone that cares. Who's another player? Jose Alvarado, right? Like, there's a guy that you hate to play against, but you want on your team because exactly. He's a Nat, the Pat Beverleys of the world.
Matthew Dellavedova, annoying, but he will just give you the
Tony
bigs.
Allen. You know, certain guys, it's just like, man, you want them on your team. And I guess what? Every team that has one of those guys usually is one of the better teams defensively in the league. like because it's infectious,
Yeah.
right? You know what I'm saying? When you have a Draymond Green on your team that's willing to pick up everything and have that energy and even kick some people in the balls if he has to, like it makes the rest of your team feel like, you know what? Yeah, I can kick somebody in their balls too. Let's go. Like, and so I think that's the type of infectious play that you need if you plan to be a successful team. I think the Blazers have a lot of the right stuff in place. It's just, I think next year will be that maturation year where they're actually considered one of the teams that people should be threatened by in the league.
Well, out of curiosity, I went and pulled up the NBA draft lottery history of teams that won it. And I wanted to talk about some of the teams that were able to win the lottery with the same or worse chances that the Blazers currently have. Because right now the Blazers have the 9th worst record in the NBA, which puts them at around 4.5% of getting the number one overall
Telling me
pick.
there's a chance.
Well, there's a better chance of them winning the lottery than winning a championship, Rashad. I'll tell you that much.
Okay.
Don't say you didn't say that.
Okay, yeah. I mean, I think because both of them are not going to happen. And so that's why I'm like, it doesn't really matter how we do it. Even if we get the second pick, it's still not the number one pick that we're all looking for. I understand, but I get it.
All right, let's take a look at this list of teams who got the number one overall pick with less than a 4.5% chance and who they ended up taking in that draft as well with that number one overall pick. We'll get to that next year. Sports Sunday, 1080 The Fan.
Michelob Ultra welcomes the Portland Golf Show, February.
You ready, Mace? Party people!
Sports Sunday with Rashad and Joe on Portland's sports leader, 1080 The Fan.
Yeah, what you know about going out, head west, red legs, TVs, all up in the headrest. Try and live it up, rock jewel, bigger truck, piece all glittered up, stick a kid in what? Jig with a cut, Chris spit it up. Rock, get your till I can't get it up. I'm a big man, get it.
So the Blazers currently with the 9th best odds at getting the number one overall pick. That is 4.5%. If we take a look at history, there is a few teams, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 teams that have had worse odds than that ended up with the number one overall pick.
And we're talking like, what, 80-plus drafts or so that are being measured here? So
80? I mean, they've been doing the lottery since, what, 80-something? I mean, so we're talking about like 40, 50 of them?
Okay.
I mean, when did they start the lottery? It was in like 87?
So can I ask a question before we start?
I don't know. No, you can't.
Please? Jeez.
I say the nay.
Yeah, 1985, Joe.
Are we going to assume that all of these drafts were on the up and up? There was no collusion.
We
at
know
all?
the.
Let's just give the assumption that they are.
We all know about the whole frozen envelope thing with
David Stern said that was bullshit. So
I mean, that's pretty hilarious, though.
If that
Freezing
were
an
real.
envelope.
I know.
And it wasn't wet.
So
or
that way
anything
he
afterwards,
knows it's
like,
cold. Like, yep, that one.
Yeah, I don't know.
Just digging around. He did dig around for a while. You go look at the video. It looked like he was looking for an envelope. I think
This
that's
is when
where
conspiracy theories are
Yeah.
fun.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just curious though. Like, I mean, but
So
I
you
digress.
said 6 times, and that would be out of a total 40.
4, 5, 6. Yes, 6.
Out of 40 possible draft
So,
lotteries.
we
So,
don't think there was any collusion with LeBron being drafted to Cleveland.
I mean,
by
I do
Cleveland
wonder about
from
that kind of
Ohio.
crap.
Like, there was no.
You know, that just laid out perfectly. Like
Like-
the gods smiled upon LeBron and Cleveland for that.
I mean, part of me says, like, I think that people are going to watch LeBron regardless of where he went.
Yeah, but the hometown thing for Cleveland, which was desperately looking for some type of anything, like it just, I don't know. That seemed almost too good to be
Okay,
true.
but this
But keep
also
going, though.
this kind of goes along the lines of like people having the NFL conspiracies for Kansas City. Like, who gives an F about Cleveland? Like, why would it be like, man, you know who we really need to make a good franchise in the NBA and have really rise them up?
Cleveland.
Cleveland.
Really cold ass
You know what?
winners.
You know what? An NFL team. You know, of all these years, guys, we've been doing the NFL. I think it's time to do Kansas City a solid. I think we should just start making some calls and doing things for them. You know, tell the refs, throw some rogue passing interference, roughing the
Especially if-
passer.
when we're looking
Kansas
at
City
history.
Kansas City deserves it.
Yeah, when you're looking at history, mind you, the refs were never as blatant until this year.
Let's get all.
Let's just be honest.
Let's
like,
get all 31 owners.
We've
all
never
30 governors in a room and be like, hey guys, so we're letting Kansas City run things. for the
We've
next
never
few
complained
years,
about
right?
referees as much as we have this year for this one particular team.
Dude, welcome to
We know it.
sports. I think the only, again, hockey's having a moment. I feel like their refs are the only ones that don't catch any flack. Umps are getting replaced by
I didn't even know there was-
robots. NBA refs are getting berated every night. I mean, no player in NBA history has ever committed a foul. Did you know that?
Well, let's just be real. Hockey is the only one doing it right now. If we're keeping it 100, man, hockey is the only sport which is the one. It's crazy because it's the one that nobody really watches here, especially probably here in the Northwest. But
whoa,
we don't watch a lot. We don't watch a lot of hockey.
Don't
we,
you
we love our
besmirch-
Winterhawks
Yeah.
here in Portland.
Don't
We
you
watch
besmirch
a
the
lot of-
Hawks, okay?
We don't watch a lot of hockey here. Like, we know that. Like, I can't tell you how many times I've gone to a bar and just seen hockey games on. Like, not a lot,
Well, you're going to the wrong bars.
I suppose.
All right, get to this list, damn it. List radio. People
Yeah.
love it.
15% chance. So
Uh,
hopefully this happens.
4.5% chance that the Blazers get the number 1 overall pick. I will say on this list, the first team that had odds closest to that, right above the 4.5%, was 5.3%, and that was the Portland Trailblazers with Greg Oden.
Oh,
They
my
had the
goodness.
6th worst record in the league, so that gave them a 5.3% chance of the number 1 pick, and they got it.
I still remember that. That was the feeling of that
That was-
happening was nuts.
That was one of the best days I've ever had as a sports fan.
Which is kind of
that's
sad
sad.
for all of us.
No, for real. I mean,
No,
just-
you're right. Yeah,
'cause
I'm-
it
and I
wasn't just
agree
that
with
we
you.
got the
I
pick.
felt
It was
the same
who
thing.
we were able to pick with that pick. It wasn't just that we got him, that we got that pick. It was we were going to get one of the two at that time we thought generational talents that we will have ever seen until we would get a Wemby or something.
Okay, so in the year 2000, the New Jersey Nets had a 4.4% chance at the number 1 overall pick. They got it, and who did they select? Do you remember?
What year?
2000.
New Jersey Nets selected Kenyon Martin.
That is correct. Right after that, and this is should be one of the easier ones to guess because it literally happened just last year. The Atlanta Hawks had a 3% chance of winning the number 1 overall pick, which they did, and they took the Frenchman Zachary Rissachet. In 2011, that was technically the Clippers got the pick, but it was conveyed to the Cleveland Cavaliers. 2.8% chance, and yes, it was Kyrie Irving. That was in 2011. 2014 was the Cleveland Cavaliers. 1.7% chance. No, it was not Anthony Bennett.
Is that what it was? Oh, was that Andrew Wiggins?
That is correct. That was Andrew Wiggins, who was later traded to Minnesota in that Kevin Love trade. And in 2008, the Chicago Bulls with a 1.7% chance. See, this is, it's funny looking at in history because the Cavaliers in 2014, Bulls in 2008, they had the ninth.
Who did the Bulls get?
They had the ninth worst records, just like the Blazers do now, but they only had a 1.7% chance. So the Blazers' odds now are 4.5, which is about 2.5 times.
It's because of the
Listen,
tanking that they're trying to combat. They evened it up on the top 3.
But again, just seeing that, like this point, 10 years ago, it was only 1.7% and 4.5. I'll definitely take that 4.5.
If Cooper Flagg was from Portland, then
he from Maine.
Not the right Portland.
He's close to Portland, Maine.
Not the right one. Yeah, but if he was from Portland, Oregon, he would be playing for the Trailblazers. Because who did Chicago draft in 2008?
Yeah.
Who they draft?
And who was Portland one number away from getting in 2008 as well? Because I don't know if y'all remember, but the year after they drafted Greg Oden, Kevin Pritchard told the story about being in the lottery room, and the Blazers got the first 3 numbers. And everyone was sitting there being like, is this really going to happen? Is Portland going to get lightning struck twice again? And it didn't.
And they would have gotten Derrick Rose.
Yeah.
With that 2008
And where's Derrick Rose from?
Portland.
Yeah, right. So that's what I'm saying. Like when you have a generational talent like that, this happens to be from a city like that, like that's a built-in story in its own. So yeah,
I agree with you.
I do think there's some collusion somewhere. I don't think it happens all the time, but when you have a Derrick Rose, when you have a LeBron James, when you have these guys and they suck enough, their team suck enough to be able to be in that lottery conversation, yeah, I fully expect them to be drafted there.
And the team that had the worst...
Don't let New York have another good player sometime soon.
The team with the worst probability of all time in the NBA draft to get the number 1 overall pick, 1993. This was the Orlando Magic, which had to be conveyed to Golden State.
Chris Webber.
And yes, it was Chris Webber. That was a 1.52%.
What a trade. What a draft trade. Chris Webber for Penny.
I know, right? Like, nobody lost in that deal.
Oh, speaking of Penny Hardaway, Tim Hardaway, do you see
he's been in the news?
Yeah, you see the beef with him and
with
Tyrese
Halliburton?
Oh my god,
I love it.
And did you see the possible reason why he has that beef?
I did not.
Did Tyrese steal a girl from him or something?
Not Tyrese. No, it was actually Eddie Jones. So
whoa,
you stole a girl from Eddie Jones?
Like back in the old NBA days. So Eddie Jones.
We're going on a tangent here. I'm trying to find the tweet. Okay, so this was Tim Hardaway Sr. said on Gilbert Arenas' show recently. He's like, if I could go back and suit up, I want to go F up Tyrese Halliburton. He talks so much S. I want to go back and bust his mother effing A. My God.
Whoa.
Potty mouth. He think he all that. And then one of the top replies was, for people that don't know, Tim Hardaway was on the 2000 Miami Heat squad with Tyrese Halliburton's cousin, Eddie Jones. Eddie Jones invited the wife of Hardaway to his Miami high-rise condo and slept with her. I'm not going to read the next part.
And Tyrese Halliburton, I remember saying, "Tell him why you're really mad."
Yes, and that was Tyrese's response to that.
He
said,
really
he's like, "There's another reason for this. Tell him why you're upset, Tim." So yeah, how about that? Fun little.
And I love Tim Hardaway.
Fun little NBA old school veteran
small.
versus current player beef right now.
I love Tim Hardaway, but he's too small for Tyrese Halliburton. Tyrese would shoot over him. Tim Hardaway was quick. You know what I mean? And he was great. Get to the basket, no problem. Thick little point guard, but
I don't think they're talking about battling it on the court right now.
Oh no, not at all. That I would probably give to Tim Hardaway.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
So yeah,
Scrappy goes to the Hardaway from the '90s, right?
So the Blazers, they have a chance. I'm not holding out hope. Because it's because also wanted to get to this maybe at some point, maybe in the next hour. There's a team in the NBA where it's I feel resigned to the fact, because this is one of my worst fandom sports years that I can remember, that there's a team in the NBA where they're going to win the championship, and that's just how my life is going. And I want to also get in the second hour a veteran quarterback that is possibly going to be on the move, and some other stuff to fill out hour number 2. We'll find out what that other stuff is. Joe Fisher, Rashad Taylor, Jordan Schultz behind the glass. Sports Sunday, 10 of the Fan.
Ready to bring your dream home to life? At Smart
The Fan.
First on The Fan, the Portland Trailblazers getting a historic win over the Charlotte Hornets last night, 141-88 the final. It's a 53-point win, the biggest ever in franchise history. Anthony Simons leading the way for the Blazers with 25 points. He had 5 3-pointers. Tamani Kamara, Jabari Walker, and Shaedon Sharpe all each adding 20 points in the win. And some other news out of the NBA last night, San Antonio Spurs Hall of Fame coach Greg Popovich not expected to return this season, and his NBA future is uncertain after he is still recovering from a mild stroke he suffered back in November. At that point, the team put in their assistant coach, Mitch Johnson, who has gone 21-27 so far. Onto the college hardwood, the Ducks slipping by Wisconsin in the upset win on the road, 77-73 over the number 11 Badgers to final. Nate Biddle leading the way with 23 points. The Beavers beating San Diego 83-73. Michael Ratai 29 points in the win, and the Pilots slipping by the Pacific Tigers 81-73. More sports scores and stories in 30 minutes. I'm Schulte at the 1080 The Fan Sports Desk. Listen live or on demand on the Odyssey app, the Fan's desktop player, or tell your smart speaker to play 1080 The Fan.
The ultimate basketball party, Fan Madness, is back. March 20th and 21st at the Stadium Sports Bar at A&A Sportsbook. More info at 1080thefan.com.
Dude. I guess you've got a point there.
This is Sports Sunday.
Hey, Skidmark Steve! Hey, dude. You still just hanging out playing Nintendo?
Well, if you must know, I'm in my second year of med school, and I'm training for the summer games. What are you two up to?
Just hanging out, playing Nintendo.
A recap of the sports week, a preview of today's games, and next week's big stories.
You think Shaq got rich playing in Orlando? Hardly. He made his fortune moving to LA. You know how much he makes now?
As much as he made playing in college?
What? No.
Now, here are Rashad Taylor and Joe Fisher.
What happened out there?
You know, it was a team effort, and I guess it took every player working together to lose this one.
Thanks, Doug. And so...
Hey, you want to do an interview with me?
No.
With Sports Sunday on the Odyssey app and 1080 The Fan.
Bob, in all my years of calling games, I don't think I've ever been this excited.
You're excited? Feel these nipples.
Hour number 2, Sports Sunday, right here on 1080 The Fan. You can catch hour number 1 wherever you get your podcast, or you can go back and watch it later on YouTube. Or you can use the Odyssey app, which I highly encourage you do, because the Slam Dunk in Vegas contest is almost over. Which, if you're listening to 1080 The Fan via radio, just do it via the app.
Right.
Do some little registration, right? Log in, listen to the 1080 The Fan or any participating station, any sports station from Odyssey on there. Listen each day for a minimum of an hour, and that's your daily entry. The winner, that's a travel for 4, you and 3 guests. You get to go to Vegas for 5 nights, stay at the Circa Resort, which Rashad gives a ringing endorsement to.
100%.
Premium sports viewing destination.
The Long Bar.
And home of the biggest March hoops party at Stadium Swim.
Boom.
Mingling it up with some singles at March Madness.
Or some couples.
Listen.
Oh, upside down pineapple life, huh?
Hey, if you're into it.
Let's go.
Especially in Vegas.
Rashad's
right?
into it. What was the place you went to a few weeks ago?
Oh, well, we don't have to talk about that. But, yeah, I don't know if I'm with the pineapple stuff, though. To be honest. You got to be real.
No, but this place does look legit.
No,
just to get back to seriousness, like, oh my God, I want to go there
They have
right
this
now.
the thing called the Long Bar. So as soon as you walk in, it's like say it's the longest bar in Vegas, but it's super, super tight. Like,
well, you'll have plenty of money to spend if you win this contest. You get $5,000 for each of you to fund the ultimate viewing experience for the first 2 rounds of the college basketball championship. Contest ends today. So, I mean, I could be saying this and it's already over, but my guess is that this is the last day.
and I'm not eligible. Right?
No.
Well,
nor are your family members.
Well, I mean, I just kind of work here, though.
Yeah, but you get paid by Odyssey, and that's good enough for them to disqualify you.
Oh, my God.
You get a check. So, I'm sure you get $5,000 over the course of the year.
Yeah. Something like that.
So yeah, I mean, I guess listen to us for one more hour or do something for by the end of the day, and you'll get one more entry. For more info, go to 1080thefan.com. Speaking of March Madness, also keep listening to 1080 The Fan throughout this week, because I believe you're going to be hearing some details about some March Madness stuff related to 1080 The Fan. I don't know if that's something I can delve into, but if you connect the dots with 1080 The Fan and March Madness and what we've done the last couple of years, I think you might have an idea of what's going to be going down again.
I think we just had a little voicer on the update about it. So,
well, I hope so,
because
then I can really spoil the details. We should confirm that. Gosh, what was I also going to say here about something maybe March Madness related or I don't know. Regardless, whatever.
And yes, sorry, the announcement on the end of my update was about the March Madness at A Sportsbook on the 20th.
Perfect.
21st.
Yeah,
So
Fan Madness is going to be back at A. The 20th and 21st?
Yes,
I believe?
sir. Thursday, Friday of March, that third week.
I do not hit up the casino too often, but that is the Friday is when we get the team together and go up there. We take the little party bus up there.
I've never been invited.
Well, there's definitely emails that are sent out. So I mean,
I
you
don't
can
get
join.
those. I can show you. I don't get those.
Well, come through. Show up.
Shoot.
Pull up. Come on.
Might have to.
Let's go. Come on, Richard. Let's go gamble together.
Friday the 21st, we'll be taking a party bus from this very location up to A. And we'll be joining Danny and Dusty and Isaac and Sook. And actually, they'll be there Thursday. But Friday, Dirt and Sprague will be there as well. It's going to be an all-day 1080 The Fan affair on Friday of the first round of March Madness.
Yeah. I'm looking forward to it. Honestly, I never really get to go because I work like a normal job, like not a cool one like this one, but I work it's pretty cool, but still.
I've been meaning to schedule those days off for years, and it always just like kind of comes around, and I don't. But the last couple of years, we've gone up on the Friday to go and do this, and so I don't really need to schedule the Friday. We work until like 10:30, and then it's like, all right, everybody get loaded up on the bus. We're leaving in a half hour, so it turns into a work day.
I'll meet y'all there.
Think I gotta pray that swag isn't gone, like calling the women's pilots in an NCAA tournament action game or something like that. So I love the pilots, but I think this year, please don't make the tournament.
Well, let's hope they do, because then we could get another great swag call moment for drops.
That's true.
I pray that happens. I hope we get a moment where we get a here's the situation, it's over, we think. I mean, come on. That was audio gold. Speaking of audio gold, I don't know if you saw last night the NHL commentator that got hit with the puck on the sideline guy.
No.
Yes, ouch. Yeah, he was over by the benches. Yeah, I think he's alive. I mean,
where'd he get hit?
In the face. Like the forehead or something like that.
Here's the situation.
Bang! Right in the forehead.
We might have to pull the audio for that or find that somewhere, and we're gonna have to bleep something because he let it know on air how much that hurt.
Absolutely.
How could you know?
After he regained consciousness, I'm sure he did.
It was so great because I think that everybody that was listening to that game or watching that game and heard him say it and was like, "Oh my god, why did he say? Oh, he got hit by a puck? Okay, he gets a pass on that."
I think even the FCC would be like, "Nah, we're not going to say
We got a couple
anything."
complaints, but we're not going to do anything because, I probably would have said the same thing.
Ouch. Slap shot to the face. Like, nobody wants that.
Yeah, no, not at all. And nobody wants the Lakers to win another championship, but they're probably going to. I'm kind of, after what I saw last night and what Luka did and them beating the Nuggets, I mean, the Nuggets had won, 9 straight games or something like that?
Yeah, they were bound to drop one.
Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, that's 9. Again, Ohio State won the championship this year. Philadelphia Eagles won the championship this year, so it'd only be right that another team that I hate most in this world wins a championship, and that's going to be the Los Angeles Lakers.
There were a lot of Laker fans in attendance the other night.
I'm sure
it's really frustrating.
Jumping.
It's really frustrating to see like the Lakers score and the crowd erupt.
Are Lakers?
Like, what's happening right now?
Are Laker fans the worst bandwagon fans?
I mean, I was talking.
I feel
throughout
like
all sports.
I'm going all sports here. Yeah.
I was talking about this on Dirt and Sprague this week. There was I think it came out a month ago, a survey. So I don't know how many people were surveyed, but NBA 2K, their My Career mode, yeah, they did kind of a survey from state to state of who you start with as the team.
What team you choose.
Yeah, by state in My Career mode. Of course, the Blazers won out in Oregon, but the Lakers, almost all over the United States won, even in Texas. Over the Dallas Mavericks, the Lakers were chosen more to start their career mode than the Mavericks.
It's for a couple
which is
reasons.
Just sad.
It's for a couple reasons. One, if you play 2K, I know Joe, you do. When you start your My Career,
I stopped playing. 2K.
You got to have somebody else, especially if you play on
that game's a grift.
Anything above
it is
All-Star, then you're going to need some other players on your team to do something. Usually, when you have a LeBron, it makes it easy for you to win and get more VC and blah blah blah. So. That's probably why a lot of folks do it. LeBron is you throw him a lob, he's going to catch it.
That's true.
That's just kind of one of those things on 2K. My go-to player for 2K was always Carmelo Anthony. I'll become a point guard, get Carmelo, pass him the ball, press X. He's going to shoot.
It's sad. I'm looking at this map right now, Schulte, that you referenced. Actually, Oregon, it's Lakers.
Yeah.
Texas, Lakers. Florida, Lakers.
Oregon's Lakers? I thought that the Blazers were on there.
There's literally, I'm trying to find here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I've been doing a lot of counting in this segment. I apologize. That's great for radio. It looks like there is maybe 10 states that aren't the Lakers, and
what are they? Knicks?
I was gonna say,
can I guess?
5 or 6 of those are Northeast states that all go for the Celtics.
See, this I'm looking at the one from 2K25, and it says the Blazers are Oregon's. So I don't know which one you're looking at.
I mean, it's literally from the NBA 2K Twitter account. So,
oh man, are you looking at last year's or
no?
No, that's Play Now. You're looking at Play Now. I've got My Career mode up.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
So Play Now, which makes sense, which is just you sit down, you and I could play each other and just whatever.
And this is for everybody out there that plays 2K and you play Madden. Listen
There's
up.
some 65-year-old man listening right now.
Only,
what the hell are these guys talking
They might
about?
play. Listen, I play online with people. I play online with people all the time, all ages, and I can tell.
Hey,
by the
buddy,
way, I can tell by
get
the way
your
they
ass in
curse
the
at
paint.
me. I can tell by the way they curse at me that they're a little bit older
and white.
Dagnammit. Okay, you're 70, but. Man, you almost made me forget where I was going to go. If you are going to play 2K, if you're going to play Madden, it doesn't mean you're dope because you play with the Lakers and win, or you play with the Celtics and win, or you go ahead and pick the best team or you play with the Chiefs and you run through people. That doesn't make you good at the game. It means you can play with the best team on there. It means you have Steph Curry and the Warriors. I remember when Steph was running through the league, that's the only team people used to play with. And I was like, you're not cold because you get Steph Curry and shoot all the threes and they go in. That doesn't mean that you're nice at the game.
Sounds like playing against my son. He would always have these stipulations. He'd be like, okay, you have to play with one of the 3 worst teams, and I get to play with one of the 3 best teams.
See? No, boo.
That's still whack.
Now, what we can do, we can go random. We can go random, and if you get the Lakers, then cool. I have to get a team that's adjacent to that. So, I mean, if you get the Lakers, then cool. I can get the Celtics, or I can get something like that, something with firepower. But, if you get the Lakers, I'm not getting the Hornets. For what? No. So I can get smashed in this game? No, thank you.
Well, I'm resigned to the fact that the Lakers are going to win the NBA championship now. I mean,
Luka still can't play defense. That's still a big thing. So whoever's guarding him is going to, or whoever he's guarding is going to cook because we see it all the time. We saw it in the finals. We really saw it in the Western Conference Finals. He just can't guard anybody, but he's a hell of a scorer. So that's that. But yeah, I still don't think the Lakers have quite enough, if that sounds weird. Defensively, I just don't think that they're.
They don't, Rashad, and that should make it so they don't win it, but they're going to. Yeah. I'm just I have no hope.
I don't think they can beat Boston.
Quite frankly, I don't think they could beat the Thunder. I think the Thunder are deeper. But they're going to.
I don't think they can. I don't think they could.
They'll
beat Denver.
sweep them.
I don't think they'll beat Denver like that. I mean, they had to
literally
get Luka
just beat Denver like that last
night.
For
the first time since 2022. Like I'm saying, during the regular season, this is the first time they've been able to beat these fools in the regular season. They had to get Luka to do it. So I understand, but I don't know. I still think that they're a defensive piece away from them being where they're supposed to be.
Well, depending on what sports book you look at, they have anywhere between the 4th to 6th best odds to win the NBA championship at this point.
Can I guess what 3 teams are above them?
Sure.
I can't see. My eyes aren't that great.
Oh, okay.
I would assume Boston.
Boston has the best odds.
Milwaukee?
No.
No. Okay. So I'll say
Cleveland.
Boston,
Cleveland is up there. They have the
Cleveland.
third best odds.
And Denver.
Denver is anywhere between the 4th and 6th best odds. I mean, you're forgetting one team that I literally just said like 30 seconds ago.
The Knicks? The Lakers?
No, come on.
No,
the Knicks are one of the teams that have good odds as well. They have like the 4th, 5th best odds. No, the Oklahoma City Thunder.
OKC. Okay.
The Thunder have the best odds of any Western Conference team right now. They
do all the right things. Jalen Williams has turned into he's an all-star and a legit all-star at that. A good two-way player. You got Shea, who's a great two-way player. You got Chet finally coming back who can guard the rim. Hartenstein quietly has been like a godsend for them since Chet was hurt that whole time, and they still been rolling away. Like the Thunder is a team that I would pick to come out of the West this year, and I would love to see the Thunder versus Boston in the finals. I think that would be dope.
I saw this text on the Vancouver Road text line, and it. I feel like this is a good one that people that play 2K against each other would do. You hit random
there it is.
Twice or 3 times. And you
Tell me when to stop. Either one.
Well, and then you choose one of those teams. But if you hit random a 4th time, you have to play with that team. So you get to choose between the 3 teams you hit random on in 2K. But if you don't like any of those, you do get a 4th one that you can go for, but you have to play with them.
Well, I do that, but I say after that 4th one, you still get that, you can go to either one of those 4 teams that you picked before.
No,
so like cool,
no,
like
no,
one, two, like you passed on all these teams. These are the 4 teams you get to choose from. Pick whichever one you think is the best.
No, it's fun. I'd say it adds a little bit more into it. It's like, all right, well, those are your 3 teams. You can go for a 4th, but you got to play with them.
What if you get one of the 3 teams you already drew?
Oh, then you just go again.
Thank you. Okay,
Yeah.
I was like, okay, as long as that stipulation's there, then I'd be fine with that.
Yeah, you just go again.
I'll let them choose from those 4 bad teams. I'm not going to make you play with the Hornets.
Well, the Lakers are going to win the NBA championship this year. One team in the West is not going to win the championship. Rough week for this team. We get to that next year. Sports Sunday, 10 to the Fan.
Hey, it's Dirt here for Crunch Fitness. Right
Sports Sunday with Rashad and Joe on Portland's Sports Leader, 1080 The Fan.
I lost my mic condom. Let me get that real quick.
Uh-oh.
I go wrong.
Popping off.
Gotta
Say
use
something.
protection.
Talk.
Can you
Couple
hear us?
seconds.
Yes, Joe is dealing with some stuff right now.
Prophylactic
Pay no attention.
issues.
Pay no attention while we're stalling for time.
That was a fun Blazers game to go to last night, that historic 53-point win.
Hey, when you get the one-offs and it's like, you know what, they may not be the best team in the NBA, but I guess we'll go to a game tonight, and then it pops off like that. It's a fun night.
I mean, like by the end of the first half, it was 74 to 30 something. It was bad, and my wife and I at that point was like, "All right, let's just go grab some food, grab a couple more drinks, and then quickly got a couple more in before last call." It was a pretty fun night. So, and for a team that I'm not
Wait,
too
did you
in
get the
on right
drinks
now-
at the Moda Center, or?
We pre-gamed, and I actually was forced to kind of like get most of mine there because I had to work the Ducks baseball game here, and it was a 19-11 final that was an over 4-hour
Jeez.
game. Not usually how that goes, but
God,
college baseball is so slow. It's not the Ducks' problem. They just like when runners are on base, they still don't have a pitch clock, which I'm just like, are you freaking serious right now?
Well, there's just more offense in college baseball, and
They just haven't cared about shortening that. But anyways, I digress. But I was forced into drinking those expensive drinks at the Moda, but still fun. And it's not a team I'm in on right now. I'm still mad at my Blazers for trading Dame, but I was entertained by my local team. So, yay. There you go.
Entertain me.
When you love something, you let it go. That's what we did with Dame.
Shut
Go be free.
Uh,
Go win your championship, bro.
We said in the last segment, I said that the Lakers are going to win the championship. A team that is not going to win the championship anymore because they are now without their best player and also the best coach of all time. That's the San Antonio Spurs. Rough week for the city of San Antonio. I mean, it came out of nowhere on, what was it, Thursday or Friday?
Thursday.
That Victor Wembanyama, he's got blood clots in his shoulder.
Man,
which that's, I feel like,
scary.
a weird place to get blood clots. Like, I mean,
it's
Anywhere.
a common NBA player problem, unfortunately.
Anywhere is a weird place and a bad place to get blood clots, man. So hopefully
it just sounds
Wembanyama
bad.
Yeah, no, it doesn't sound great. It doesn't sound great.
And I don't know if you guys heard. I mean, it's not just the rest of the season. When you take the drug that you have to be on to fix this, it's a minimum of 6 months. You cannot go like contact with anybody for 6 full months. So we're talking barely before the start of training camp is when he'll be able to start like playing people
Lifting
again.
and doing
Yeah, and
anything like that,
exactly.
yeah.
Well, whatever the drug is, make sure he doesn't get it from whoever Bobby Portis got his drugs from. Just make sure of that. Don't want any mix-ups.
I think it was Bobby Portis' assistant. So
Yeah. Well, hopefully it's a different assistant. But yeah, so Victor Wembanyama is out for the year now, which sucks for the Spurs because they just traded for De'Aaron Fox a couple weeks ago, and we're hoping that this was going to be the new iteration of the
good for us.
Spurs. Why do you say that?
For the Blazers, like, I mean, if you're really looking for them to move forward, just get San Antonio just right up out the way. I'm saying.
That's right.
If you're the Blazers, then you're looking at this differently.
You want them to
but
win a championship.
If you're
I
a
forgot.
human, you're like, damn, that sucks.
Now the Blazers are going to have even worse odds. Rashad, I hope you're happy.
Hey, man. Can't
I
be
hope
mad
you're
about something I
happy.
wasn't getting anyway.
There, Rashad on record happy that Victor Wembanyama has blood clots.
Not true. Not at all true.
I'll
Speedy
pull it.
recovery, Victor.
Yes. Clip out any words or anything that might, make it seem better for Rashad if he could. But wow, Rashad, real nice guy. But then yesterday the news comes out that Greg Popovich, he's probably going to be done for the season and really could be done coaching altogether. I mean, I felt like I had heard something earlier this year that he had a mild stroke, and that was back in November. He's been dealing with that, which is very unfortunate. And he is not expected back this season, and he could be done. I mean, very this would suck. Very unceremonious departure for Greg Popovich, literally one of the best, if not the best, NBA coaches of all time. Like, that's a dude, you want to talk about, the whole farewell tours that players and coaches do. That's a guy that deserves one.
Oh, absolutely.
I mean, that would suck if he is not able to come. I mean, I don't know what his status is. I mean, no one's seen him since November, really.
I mean, he's 76, and he signed an extension at the age of, 74.
I would hope that if they get together as a family and make a decision that he comes back for one game at the end of the year, maybe their last home game.
Yeah.
If it's, game 81 or 82, and usually nobody's actually playing that game seriously anyways, unless it's for, playoff positioning or whatever, that he is able to coach or at least be on the sideline. At least have that. Because, yeah, I mean, it would just suck to have this be the end of Greg Popovich. Totally understand the health aspect of it, and if it's over, it's over. But it would just be unfortunate way for his coaching career to come to an end.
One of the greatest, like you said, arguably the greatest coach, in basketball's history. Only Phil Jackson is the person that rivals him. Now, people can say, throw in the, I forget who's, Casey Jones and some other people that have won multiple championships as head coaches, Pat Riley's and all that jazz.
I was gonna say, of all coaches that you go to, Casey
he
Jones
won a bunch with the Celtics, did he not? Am I on a tripper? But yeah, in the 80s and stuff like that. Is that wrong? You look at those guys, very few of them have birthed as many great coaches as Greg Popovich has. Even guys like Monty Williams, who's a good coach, Mike Brown, who's a good coach, Becky Hammon, who's a trailblazer. But then you throw in championship coaches like Steve Kerr and Mike Budenholzer, and these are guys that sat on the bench with Greg Popovich and just picked his brain. Like, what do you do? And to be able to cultivate talent like David Robinson and Tim Duncan and Tony Parker, Ginobili, make these guys into superstar players. And really, none of them are flashy. None of them have games that jump out at you. He just always preached playing the right way. One of those coaches that always stood up for human rights and civil rights and wasn't afraid to speak about issues that I think most white coaches and, not most, but a lot of white coaches and a lot of white owners wouldn't do. And Popovich would be willing to stand on the front lines for people. He's not just a great coach, but he's funny. How many sideline interviews did we get? Post game interviews or
that dry
halftime,
humor.
that dry humor, stuff like him and Craig Sager and those things like that. He's one of the all-time great personalities as well. Coming from the bench. So Greg Popovich deserves all of his flowers for everything that he's accomplished in basketball. And it does suck. You're right, Joe. It does suck that he's not able to finish this season out as the head coach and just really see where his team, could potentially go, which is, we don't think they're going really anywhere. But like you mentioned, you get De'Aaron Fox and then you pair him with Wemby and you pair him with some of those other guys that are, kind of big parts of that San Antonio team. You got a team that could be a championship squad or at least a contender over the next couple of years.
I mean, this really sucks, but let me just say the thing that I don't think is being said here. This is a guy that's in his 70s, and this is the terrible, unfortunate side of, these things of aging men and women in their positions of prominence that I don't think anybody's going to accuse the Spurs of keeping him in too long. I think he's only one of the best coaches just in general in NBA history, but he's one of the best developers of talent in NBA history. And even if they're not getting wins on the court, he's still able to have an impact on a Victor Wembanyama. And just having his presence in the building, I think, is worth whatever contract they decided to give him. But this is the bad side of things, unfortunately, an aging man like this. And if something happens, I don't know if they had a plan in place, if they thought Pop was ageless, but you got to wonder, if there was a discussion about something like this happening when they gave Popovich the extension. And I hope, like you guys said, they handle it well. If his future is super uncertain, if they want to just bring him back for a game, put him on, the bench for a nice recognition, and if he can't get a farewell tour, something like that. But this is the really crappy side of things, and it sucks to have to talk about this, but you kind of wonder, and I think there were whispers about this when the contract was signed. It's like, well, how long is he actually going to last? And you wonder what they're going to do in this situation. It really sucks.
5-time NBA champion, 3-time Coach of the Year, 21 straight seasons in the playoffs, most wins in NBA history for a head coach. Again, I would love to see at least him get to the bench, one more time, one of the last games of the year, maybe last home game of the year. But we'll see. We'll see what happens. Greg Popovich, absolute legend. Hope we get to see him at least one more time. From an NBA champion head coach to an NFL champion quarterback. We get to that next year. Sports Sunday on 1080 The Fan. But first, Jordan Schultz with a Sports Center update.
Now, from the Fan Sports Desk, a Sports Center update on 1080 The Fan.
First on The Fan, a historic win for the Portland Trailblazers against the Charlotte Hornets at Moda Center last night. 141-88 the final. It's their biggest win, 53 points in franchise history. A great game for Anthony Simons, shooting 50% from the floor, including 5 of 10 from three-point land for 25 points to lead all scorers. Tamani Kamara, Jabari Walker, and Shaden Sharp each adding 20. And some pretty sad news in the NBA. Greg Popovich, San Antonio Spurs head coach, is reportedly not expected to return this season, and his NBA future is uncertain as he still recovers from that mild stroke he suffered back in November. Of course, at that point, San Antonio handed the reins to assistant Mitch Johnson. He has been 21 and 27 in the interim since. On to the college hardwood, the Ducks slipping by number 11 Wisconsin, 77-73 the final. Nate Biddle leading all scorers with 23. The Beavs get a road win over San Diego, 83-73. Michael Rataj going off for 29 points. And the Portland Pilots also getting a road win, 81-73 the final there. More sports scores and stories in 30 minutes. I'm Schulte at the 1080 The Fan Sports Desk. Listen live or on demand on the Odyssey app, the Fan's desktop player, or tell your smart speaker to play 1080 The Fan.
The Hot Corner, now in its new time. Tuesdays at 7 after Isaac and Soup on Portland Sports Leader.
The national contest.
Sports Sunday with Rashad and Joe on Portland's Sports Leader, 1080 The Fan.
We talked about an NBA winning champion head coach in Greg Popovich. Now, while this guy hasn't won 5 NFL championships, he is also a champion himself, but he could be looking for a new home. That is Jordan Schultz's starting quarterback of the LA Rams, Matthew Stafford, because that's what
I see what you did there.
Yeah, that's right. I'm funny. I'm a funny
we
guy.
are recent winners of a Super
Tell
Bowl.
us a joke, Sinbad.
So,
How about this airline food?
yeah, no, he is definitely aging, but as a winner of a Super Bowl recently, doesn't really ruffle my skirt too much. They got to reset sometime, right?
Hey, you got what you needed out of him. You got a Super Bowl. Dear God, what I would do for my Cowboys to win a Super Bowl. Ungodly things. And yeah, I mean, the Rams were already kind of talking about it, and there was whispers. They needed to restructure the contract. I mean, he wanted to get paid more. They were concerned about his age and if he was going to start breaking down here soon, which he is 37?
36, almost 37.
Something like that. And I think by the time the season starts, he will be 37.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, in the Rams came out the other day, they gave him permission to seek a trade. So,
yeah,
I
his
mean,
agent is currently assessing his market value, I think the quote was, which you love to hear that kind of stuff.
Well,
it's like an insurance company talking.
I want to say we brought this up last week, too. You go and look at the quarterbacks that are available via free agency this year. Woof. It is outside of Sam Darnold, which, again, if, Sam Darnold
kind of woof.
Sam Darnold had a great year, but if he is the, key name, the top name of the quarterback free agency class, then you got some issues. You got some you have some dudes out there that are not starting material that are looking for jobs. And, again, like I say that really no team should be in the Aaron Rodgers business, but I would not be shocked if someone went 1-year deal with him.
The market calls for it at this point.
Yeah, because there's teams that need a quarterback. There's teams that have talent that feel like they might be a quarterback away. I just am very scared of the past 40-year-old quarterback who is, I'm not going to go as far to say a locker room cancer, but let's say a
locker room cancer. I don't think there's any. I think that's fair for who we're talking about.
I just think there are also some situations that we brought up last week where it's like the Raiders. Like if you're Pete Carroll trying to build a culture and rebuild a team, I think a quick way to lose a locker room. Now there might be some guys in the locker room who are like, dude, hell yeah, I'll play with Aaron Rodgers. But I think it's a great way for your message to get lost, to be like, hey, let's rebuild up this Vegas team and our culture and on accountability and tough, hard-nosed defense and running the ball. And here's Aaron Rodgers.
Well, I think it's funny because I think if there were any situation that Aaron Rodgers could be okay and would be a Raiders, because you'd have a veteran head coach like a Pete Carroll. Like I feel like a Robert Saleh wasn't quite prepared to deal with an Aaron Rodgers type of personality. But when you have a guy that's dealt with the Marshawn Lynch personality, when you have a guy that's dealt with, I don't know, it's even like a
Mr. Unlimited.
A Mr. Unlimited personality, when you have somebody that's dealt with a Richard Sherman and their type of personalities, like I think somebody like that's a little bit
Percy Harvin, if you will.
Yeah, no, seriously. Like you've got guys that have been considered maybe a little much by a lot of people.
Well, and they say
think
NFL head coaching is, isn't so much coaching, it's roster management, and knowing how to
manage personality.
Yeah,
And so I think Pete Carroll, being an older coach, would be able to kind of navigate that a little bit easier than a younger coach, especially a coach that's still kind of struggling to find their identity. You can kind of push them around a little bit. Aaron Rodgers wouldn't be able to come into a Pete Carroll situation and start calling shots.
But to go back to Matt Stafford, again, there's going to be teams that are interested. It's just a matter of like how much are they willing to give up, if they're willing to give him a few extra years on his deal and give him, until age 40.
Well, and the Rams are going to need at least a first-round pick. I would say at this point, especially with the market looking at the way that it is, a first and a second, or a first and a third or fourth, like at the minimum.
I don't know. I'm not trying to figure out why Matt Stafford is trying to, unless the Rams are actively trying to shop you. Like your defense was better than I think we all thought it could be, especially when you lose an Aaron Donald up front. Like nobody was expecting that defense to be that good without that guy anymore, and they were still pretty good this year. You don't get hit a whole lot. Like as far as you look at the quarterback sacked, he's sacked 20 3 times in the season, which is 22nd in the league. So he's on the way bottom second half of quarterbacks that are getting sacked all the time. So it's not like you have a bad offensive line. You got pretty okay weapons as far as receivers to throw to for now. We're not sure what's going to happen with Cooper Kupp or anything. That Cooper Kupp is gone, but I'm sure they'll probably figure out a way to get him in. Like, what situation are you going to go to out that's better than what you have at the Rams?
Well, this is a couple different books have posted odds of next team right now, but granted, this was actually before the news came out about him being able to seek a trade. But Vikings plus 300, I could totally see that happening with Kevin O'Connell and him.
Yeah,
that would be. I think that would be
that's one
a really good pairing if you're going to go for, because I'm pretty sure Kevin O'Connell is also from the Sean McVay coaching tree. So,
yeah, absolutely.
The Vikings at plus 300. I think the Rams, him going back, have the best odds. But as far as other teams, Giants plus 400, Raiders plus 500, Colts plus 600. This according to Sports Betting AG. So, yeah, I mean, and that, opens up the question that if the Vikings end up trading for Matthew Stafford, it's, where does Sam Darnold end up? I know there's been a lot of talk about him and possibly the Las Vegas Raiders, him getting paired up with Chip Kelly in Las Vegas.
Would be, I mean, obviously we saw how well Chip Kelly's offense worked at Ohio State. So can he bring, and honestly, when Chip Kelly first got to the league, he was pretty good.
Well, and also not just, Ohio State, but I mean, a quarterback in Will Howard, which good at Kansas State, great at Ohio State. I mean, it does help when you have the weapons that you have.
Right.
You have 2 NFL caliber receivers, 2 NFL caliber running backs, and probably like 5 caliber offensive linemen. So, I mean, when you have that much talent around, it makes your job a hell of a lot easier. But yeah, I mean, it's just intriguing to see what's going to happen with Matthew Stafford, where he ends up, if he ends up going back to the Rams. The biggest thing, though, is, and the biggest gripe with the Rams is, we don't really want to pay you any more than we're paying you. Yeah. You're getting older.
And that'd be my issue with the Vikings, because they just moved on from Kirk Cousins for that same reason. Like, man, you're getting older. You got hurt. We don't really know if we want to.
Granted, torn Achilles.
Yeah, no,
versus,
I understand. He got hurt and everything.
37-year-old Matt Stafford.
But a torn Achilles on a 37-year-old was like, yeah, we're going to, so Matt Stafford's one injury away from, at least with the Vikings, to being.
Well, Kirk Cousins is what, like 32?
No.
31?
No, Kirk Cousins is also 37, but
No, he's not.
Yeah, he is.
Yeah, he's
close.
Up, yeah.
Kirk Cousins is not 37.
Kirk Cousins is 36. He
Holy
turns 37
hell.
on August 16th this season, so he will be 37 going into this next NFL season.
So with the Vikings,
I feel like
he's
Matt
one hit away
Stafford
from-
and Kirk Cousins were drafted like 8 years apart for some reason.
That's funny. No, not really. Kirk Cousins was just under the radar, and then all of a sudden, after
RG3
Robert
was the
Griffin
guy.
failed,
We forget Kirk Cousins.
they handed
Took
it
him,
to Kirk.
3 years to get on the field?
Yeah, no, actually, because there was a couple other people in between that they handed it to, and it wasn't successful. As far as Matt Stafford and the Rams go, I feel like this is a situation where the Rams are okay with resetting because, as we all know, the NFL is unlike any other league in sports where every single team has the same amount of money to work with. You can't pay every single guy on your roster, and I guess the Rams don't want to pay a 36, 37-year-old quarterback at the rate of about $40 million, and that was a deal that they had renegotiated with Stafford last season, basically, to give him a good salary for this last year, and then kind of renegotiate and then reassess here at this point. And it sounds like they're giving him the freedom to do so because in that renegotiation, he gave up guarantees for this year. So it's both parties, it seems like, trying to be respectful, trying to help each other out. And as a Rams fan, I don't mind if they move on. I expect he'll end up in Minnesota. I would be shocked if a team like Cleveland wanted to trade for an aging quarterback like that. I just don't see, outside of like 3 teams, maybe the Saints because it's indoors because he's on turf, and maybe Kellen Moore will want, a nice veteran quarterback to lead a new draft pick for a couple of years. I don't see many fits outside of maybe 2 or 3 teams in the NFL outside of the Rams.
Man, I'm just flummoxed over here that, Stafford and Cousins were drafted 3 years apart, but Cousins drafted at the age of 24 and Matt Stafford drafted at the age of 21. How about that?
Yeah, there you go.
I'm curious. I don't know. I mean, even with the salary cap being raised, I don't know if the Saints are going to be able to afford him because the Saints have literally one of the worst cap situations in the NFL.
And that's a good point, Joe. Like, who's going to be willing to pay? And I think that's the main thing. Like, when you talk about Sam Darnold.
By the way, Derek Carr's cap hit next season is like 65,
Yeah,
70
they're
million
they're
dollars
getting
or
rid of
something
his
like
ass.
that.
Yeah.
He gone.
I don't think they can because they have to pay him. I mean, the dead cap, I'll look it up, but it's something ridiculous.
He doesn't have like a roster bonus coming that they can get out
Bro,
of?
I'm telling you, I think it's one of those, like, they have to ride this out at least one more year. It's that bad.
There's a reason
I'm
the Raiders
wrong.
were so willing to be like, yes, fine. They're
his-
fleecing everything.
His cap hit this year is $51 million. Dead cap would be $50 million.
I mean, I saw a report 2 days ago that said the Saints will release $150 million star, not trade him.
Then they're going to have to take on $50 million of dead cap. Again, if you roll with him one more year, that dead cap goes down to $28 million. So, I mean, I would just grin and bear through this season and suck and maybe get a number 1 overall draft pick for next year.
Well, here's
for the
another thing.
Saints.
You just bring that up. Now Derek Carr seems like he's going to be on the market once he's released. Like, what? And so what do you do?
And he'll be at the league minimum most likely, or
Yeah.
closer to that, because it sounds like he's got guaranteed money coming to him. So it'll be a Russ Wilson
I
situation.
still think he can play. I just think hasn't had awesome situations over the last couple of years, but I still think he can play.
Well, you can technically still play. Is it just playing good?
No, I think he can play good. I think it really depends on the you're in. Situation is super, super important.
Intrigued to see what happens with Matt Stafford, and really what some of these teams that need a quarterback. I mean, there is, two questions will be answered at the draft that, some teams that need a quarterback, one of them is going to get Cam Ward, one of them is going to get Shador Sanders. It's just a matter of
Hopefully the Patriots lined up with neither one of those, but hopefully somebody makes a mistake.
And doesn't take Travis Hunter in those first 3 picks.
Travis Hunter falls to 4. That's the plan.
Like I said, man, if Myles Garrett ends up getting traded and they need an edge rusher, don't be surprised if the Browns end up going with Abdul Carter.
Would not be shocked.
But man, that'd be quite the risk if you go with him over Travis Hunter, and we'll see how that ends up in 5-6 years. Cam Ward also giving a warning to NFL teams last week about not drafting him or passing on him that he'll remember.
Oh, God. I mean, I like the confidence, actually, and I guess that's better than wanting to try to pick your own destination. So, like, if I had to hear something out of any of these kids, I'd pick that.
Well, it always, it cracks me up because you're right. It's confidence. You want to have the belief that you're going to do great things, but it always it reminds me of when Josh Rosen got drafted, and he's on the phone with either I don't know who the GM or coach was of the Cardinals, but he's like, "We're going to win so many effing Super Bowls."
Are we?
Make them all pay, Coach.
Yeah, I wonder if Jamarcus Russell, how people would have taken that if he said that coming out. Like, I'll remember. You better draft me.
Well, you better remember to watch film, buddy.
Yeah, I thought the movie was good.
Where's that $100 bill?
Yeah, I like the game plan.
Yeah, blank tape.
I think I can do that.
Yeah.
All right, we'll wrap the show up next here. Sports Sunday, 1080 The Fan.
Aloha, Portland sports fans. It's Marcus from the 808.
Sports Sunday with Rashad and Joe on Portland's Sports Leader, 1080 The Fan.
All right, wrapping things up here on Sports Sunday. I'm going to do a little PSA here for a certain gal on the Notre Dame Fighting Irish. I was just talking to Rashad about her. We have the game on here in the studio. They're losing to NC State 80-79. But Notre Dame, number one team in the country. Yada, yada. There's a girl on Notre Dame, Olivia Miles, and I just became familiar with her game earlier this week. She throws passes like Jason Williams-esque, like comes off the pick and roll and yee, like throws it across the court, has you looking one way, she's looking one way, and then whoo, right down to the post.
Flip later. It's so quick.
Oh my God. It is one of those, it's just beautiful basketball. It is, there's, I tweeted it out the other day, at JoeFish3, FISCH, and it's like a minute compilation of her doing this, and it's just the smoothest, silkiest thing I've ever seen. And there's something about it, like there's a certain Jason Williams highlight compilation that I like to go to maybe, twice a year, just to go back and watch these.
What Joe watched before he played those 8th graders.
Getting
Putting
hyped
shoes on, watching it on YouTube.
Just headphones
now
on
I
in
understand.
the gym.
Now I understand it.
Joey, what is your dad doing over there?
He's getting in the zone.
But I mean, this is, I've shown Joey this video too, because I've told him, man, I was like, dude, if you are a good passer and you make some sick passes like this, like that is just as cool as getting a shot up. That is just
an
as
assist
cool.
is 2 points, man.
It
An
is.
assist is 2 points.
Oh my God. And luckily it's somewhat stuck with Joey. Like he's got some passes sometimes where he just like fires that thing in there and has like a little window and sees just an opening big enough where he's like, I can get that in there.
Point guard.
And he throws that thing in there. And I love players that can have that eye and that knowledge of being able to pull defenders in and know that they have someone open on the wing or something somewhere and are able to pull that move, man. It is clean. It's one of my favorites. March Madness, close approaching, my man.
Yeah, it's on its way.
Men's and women's.
I got to start really paying attention because honestly, college basketball, it's hard for me to consume. It's kind of sloppy. And it's
chaotic, but I love the chaos.
Yeah,
man.
it's hard to watch sometimes. It's just like a lot going on.
Well,
and
quite frankly, it's more basketball than what the NBA is doing right now.
Oh, for sure.
It's much more structured. It's
the NBA is a 48-minute 3-point contest. Like I don't want to watch that at all.
Speaking of actually like 3 points contests, I mean, to say that the NBA is doing that, I think there was a game last night in the West Coast Conference, the Jason Swigard Conference. What was it, on Saturday or it was something the other night. It was Santa Clara though, and they were just jacking up threes. I gotta find this. It was against Wazoo. They won against Wazoo 109-79. Santa Clara did, and they made 23 3-pointers. I mean, out of 38. 23 for 38 from the field, shooting threes. Oh my God.
But yeah, I get it. That's not fun though.
Well, it is
but
fun.
it wins, so I mean, what can you say?
When they're dropping like that though, that's got to make you feel good. I mean, 23 of 38. Can you imagine if your team was just going off like that though?
Oh yeah. Now, like I
just
said,
nobody can miss.
Or if that was the way the Blazers played, I would love it. 23, yes, absolutely. Best team in the league. I love this type of basketball, but yeah, it's not fun when you're on the losing end of it.
Also, someone on the Vancouver Forward text line, this could be they feel like luck is going to strike for you, Rashad. They say Abdul Carter over Travis Hunter. Hunter is good, but a pass rusher holds so much more value. That means that man, in the mock drafts I look at, there's a few of them that has him going number 2 to the Browns. You go Cam Ward 1, you go Abdul Carter 2, Shedeur Sanders 3, Travis Hunter 4.
And Travis Hunter is awesome because we don't really know what we need if we're the Patriots right now.
We need a lot.
We need a lot of stuff. And I think Travis Hunter covers a lot of stuff. We need special teams. We need corners. We need receivers. Go ahead. choose which one you want Travis Hunter to play.
Well, I am curious because with the salary cap going up, how much room the Patriots are going to have to spend. So this number says 125. I don't know if this is.
We don't have anybody. We don't have anybody that costs money.
I don't know if this is with the new cap or the raising it, but I mean, Patriots, you guys, you're going to have some money to spend.
Oh yeah, I mean, when you're not paying anybody, then you got tons of dough to throw around. So we'll see.
All right, that does it for us here on this Sunday. We are getting very close, though, to one of the best months on the sports calendar. I'd say that March is up there. You get baseball about to start. You're in March Madness. NBA playoff race is starting to heat up a little bit. It's the best non-football month on the sports calendar.
I would agree.
You get some draft stuff starting to come out. It'll be a good time. Good time. As Notre Dame hits a three-pointer as the clock expires to tie the game and to send it to overtime. How about those Lady Fighting Irish?
Hey, man, this game is cracking if you're not watching.
It's not March, but the madness is beginning. NC State fans are shook.
I'm feeling the mania.
All right, Rashad, appreciate you as always.
My man.
Jordan Schultz, appreciate you as always.
Love you guys. Love everybody out there.
And I appreciate everybody out there that is listening on this Sunday. We will catch you next week at 9 a.m. right here on 1080 The Fan. Peace.
Did you know that most people wait 6 or 7 years before they buy a new TV? That's a lot of time in front of one TV. So why not get one of the best sets for the next 7